Welcome to Raw is Retro on the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're liked and subscribe to the Sharpshooters. If you're watching this, you're already watching, so make sure you just hit that like button and subscribe below somewhere. I'm not sure where I am in terms of the buttons, but it's down here somewhere. I am your host, Ross, and with me, as ever, is Lord Manny Hayes.
With the wheelless Lord Manny Hayes. It's now been 6 weeks.
Wheelless Lord Manny Hayes.
6 weeks.
Can we get a counter on screen for next week? Wheelless weeks.
You're like Santino and the Honkamino.
Yeah. We are here to talk about Raw is a War from 1998. Our episode this week is the 18th of May 98 from Nashville Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm expecting a big Jeff Jarrett night over in Nashville. How do we start this week? I'm assuming it's with another in-ring segment between Vince and all the boys.
Yeah, Vince and the boys decide to say Steve Austin has received a mild concussion from a hellacious clothesline from Vince McMahon last week, and that they have banned Austin for his safety from the arena tonight.
That always works. Yeah, that's really fine.
So you can see. So you can see footage of Austin trying to enter the building, and he's been refused entry by a guy telling him, "I'm just trying to do my job, Steve. Please, I'm just trying to do my job." Steve goes,
Please,
"I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to go sit in my car, have some Steve Weisers, and then this stops for a bit."
Right.
So we go back to the ring, and then they talk about Over the Edge, where May 31st is where the dude he will have his dreams come true.
Hang on, May 31. Sorry. That's correct.
What did I
say? Never says 31st. He never says 31st.
Oh, yeah.
Or 30th. It's May
March
30
20.
or May 31st.
Oh, yeah. March 29.
March 29. May 31.
So also in this opening thing, we get Dustin get called out. Dustin hurts.
Yeah.
Because he burnt his gold dust here, and much like what he did with Dude Love last week.
Yeah.
He decides to go, "I gave you that gimmick. I did this for you. I have done everything for you. You cannot blame me for your problems with you or your wife or you not talking to your father," which is true.
I mean, he's got a point. It's not Vince's fault.
But then puts him in a number one contenders match for the WWE title with if he can beat Dude Love tonight.
It's quite generous.
But if Dustin loses, he won't pay him for 30 days.
Someone's got some alimony to pay. That's going to be a killer, that is. We get where do we go? Backstage, and Jerry Lawler's helped someone out of a van that's covered in a purple sheet.
So
yeah,
also leading up to this, we get security now checking for Steve Austin. And they need to check underneath the guard to prove that it isn't Steve Austin.
Just in case.
But you never see who's under it till they get to the ring later in the night.
Yeah. Well, the man behind the purple sheet is the one and only Val Venis. He's here. He's finally made it to the WWE, WF.
And this was a really good match.
It was. Too Cold Scorpio was a good first opponent, definitely.
It's not good on Val's behalf. It's because Scorpio made this bearable.
Yeah, he is a very good in-ring talent. He's a very safe pair of hands, I think. And yeah. Val does some nice stuff. Bridge and German suplex is always good. I like that. And I do love the money shot. His frog splash is a good one. I like it doesn't
It wasn't a frog splash, it was just a splash.
Well, it's just like a flying fall, isn't it, from the top rope? Yeah, I mean, decent debut from Val. He will get better. I don't know. The Val Venis character ever really hit any heights?
No, but Choppy Pee Pee is the highest of highs. that character will go.
Yeah, that's pretty soon, actually. So Val's peaks very, very soon. He's still around until the early 2000s. Or mid 2000s with the old Sean Morley character. Whatever he was.
Right to censor.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. And then just don't look at what he's doing on Twitter these days because he's gone off the deep end. Austin is here. Austin is in the ring. He calls
he beats up the security guard.
Oh, just,
first.
oh yeah.
He beats up the security guard because he doesn't let him in, and then Austin picks up the walkie-talkie and tells whoever to call the police, and for the guy he beat up, and then he goes to the ring.
Yes, he threatens to start smashing up the old $50,000 cameras, which pretty much brings Vince straight out onto the ramp. It's your classic Austin versus Vince and the Stooges stuff, isn't it? Really, you see a lot of this where it'll either end with Austin getting arrested and carted off, or Vince getting a stunner. Basically, that's kind of how these things go. He gets a do you have a 3-on-1 match? Is that what's made for later on tonight?
No, so it turns out to be you will face a 2-on-1 handicap match, but we won't tell you which one of the three you're getting. So they basically Freebird ruled this match.
Yeah. Vince and the Stooges are the new Freebirds. Oh, God. We get another Edge promo. Edge is still walking through the streets for the subways this time. How edgy. Is that why it's called Edge? Because these look like an edgy promo.
Yeah, edgy promo. Yeah.
We check in with Jerry Lawler, and whatever is under the purple sheet. We still don't find out. What do we do? We get a match. Oh no, we get a Sable thing, don't we?
So Marc Mero now has pulled out a contract saying that he owns Sable, and she signed that contract 2 years ago to do whatever he says. So she's going to be So if she decides to leave him, she'll be in breach of contract.
Jesus.
So
I need to check my wedding license just in case that's what it says.
I don't think your wife will. I don't think you stand a chance.
No.
That system does not favor a man.
No, absolutely not. I quite like this actually. It's incredibly petty for Marc Mero, but I like it. It fits with his character. It's pretty good. Then he has to face Terry Funk. Yeah,
which was also a pretty decent match.
Yeah, Funk, as they keep saying, is 56, 57 years old, whatever he is, 53, something like that. He's in his mid to late 50s. Can still go pretty well, actually.
And he still does a moonsault at 53. A bad one, but still does it.
Yeah, which one's worse, his or Lita's? I mean, they're both pretty bad.
He's 53. Men like him should not be flipping like that in the air.
No, they definitely shouldn't, actually, yeah. But he gets the win on this one. He hits him with a DDT for the win. Back when a DDT was a finishing move. Sable tries to smile, but she's not particularly good at that. What do we get? We get the old WWF Rewind, brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT.
Which we learned is not a thing anymore.
No, Marcus tried a few weeks back. One of the other shows, I forgot it was last week or the week before, actually, we had like the Slam of the Week brought to you by Tekken. Is it Tekken 3 or something like that?
Tekken,
it just looks so
the original bad. Tekken. It was the original Tekken.
Is it? Oh yeah, Tekken 3 is actually quite good. Yeah, the original Tekken with the most triangular people you've ever seen in a video game. Still play that game to death though. Is that it? No, we get one more match, don't we, before we enter the war zone? We get LOD 2000 versus Skull and Chains.
Why?
Every week, every single week, someone's pressing autofill card on their my GM mode, and it's just putting this match together every single week.
Yeah, well, you know what else is coming after this, and no one wanted this. Hawk said they want a 6-man tag match after this. No one wants this. No one, because they once again they fall for Twin Magic, and now they've realized they've fallen for Twin Magic, and now they want a 6-man tag. And you know who's going to come out? It's probably going to be Droz, and I'm not going to enjoy it.
Oh shit! Yeah, we're like a week away from Droz. Oh my god! I was just thinking then, who's going to be the third man for LOD 2000? Surely Sunny's not getting in the ring and wrestling. She wasn't even there, was she? At this one, they've already ditched her. She wasn't even at ringside. But neither is 8-Ball, so who knows what those two are up to backstage. Yeah, Abel does appear. But yeah, weird. Like we're going to get a Droz next week. Brilliant.
Because we all need Droz.
They show Lawler on his way to the ring with the purple sheet guy. And then we see Kane in his street clothes. with Paul Bearer getting a DNA test.
This was so dumb. I don't know why they didn't put Kane in his mask. They put like a black bag or whatever on his head. Like this was ridiculous. Like it was a towel or something. It just looked ridiculous.
He's got a face covering he can wear and wears quite well most weeks. Like just let him wear that.
Wear his
mask.
Problem.
Yeah, not an issue. We get into the war zone. Obviously, Lawler takes over from commentary with JR.
This is when he brings his
the purple sheet reveal.
His purple sheet reveal, and it wasn't a big surprise. You could tell he was holding head the whole time, the whole way through. I was like, it's pretty clear this is Al Snow. And Jerry Lawler has promised him that he's going to get him his meeting. Him and Head a meeting with Vince McMahon, which JR has repeatedly said, you're not going to get him a meeting. You're just using this man for personal protection. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's fine. I like it. It's a very good continuation of Lawler from last week. He just tells Snow to go and sit in the front row, didn't he? Like, you're not sitting on commentary with us. Get over there. We get a match between Dude Love and Dustin Runnels, which is the number one contenders match. It goes 2 minutes.
This was trash.
Absolute shit. Yeah, 2 minutes. Brilliant. Dude wins with a mandible claw. The camera zooms in on the VKM tattoo on Dude's arm. That's a nice little touch. I like that. It's very clever. That's definitely something that Foley's done himself.
Yeah, and then we learn that Steve Austin has been arrested.
Oh my God. Again. Shocker. What a surprise. He's going back to his own cell he's probably got in every police station in America.
We need to find out how many times he's actually been arrested.
Yeah, it must be on the internet somewhere, like the Austin arrest counter or something like that. Vince McMahon and the Stooges talk shit to him as he's been kind of escorted away in handcuffs. That's something that everyone has seen. No matter if you've watched these episodes of Raw, you've seen this happen over and over again.
All the time.
Yeah, it seemed like it happened every other week at some point. We're probably going to talk about it every other week going forward. We get a match between the Headbangers, who are back after an absence of about 7 or 8 weeks. We've not seen them since.
I didn't know this man's name was this, and I think I'm gonna introduce myself as this at one point. Dick Togo.
Dick Togo.
Sounds an incredible name.
It's a cracking name, isn't it? I can't pronounce his tag team partners. Men's
Tio?
Men's Tio, yeah. With Yamaguchi-san and Sho Funaki. Number one commentator. Or number one backstage reporter. Yeah.
SmackDown is number one commentator.
Funaki is here. When we do eventually get to SmackDown, we might have to take a trip over there to see what's happening on SmackDown.
We're not even close to that, is it? 2000 then SmackDown.
Yeah.
We've got 2 years before we even try SmackDown. SmackDown is retro.
Maybe someone else could do a SmackDown show on the Sharpshooters Network.
I mean, one was in the works, but clearly not happening.
No, we'll get there. We'll do both of them eventually, and we'll do Sunday Night Heat as well. That is not a promise. This match goes 5 minutes because obviously Bradshaw and Tucker come down. The
to save the day.
Yeah, save the day for the Headbangers who are getting beaten up by 4 little Japanese fellas.
I mean, we're years away from Eddie Guerrero coming down in a car and Bradshaw coming down in his limo. I really wanted from last week Takumi Shinoku just driving a car down to ringside after Bradshaw was teaching him how to drive last week. Yeah. I really wanted it. That would have
been great.
Unnecessary.
We don't get that. Yeah.
Unnecessary, but I would have loved it.
We get some more footage of Vince talking to Austin while he's in the cop car and talking to the cops as well. And we see Paul Bearer and Kane in the DNA lab. It's obviously just a room backstage at the arena. We get a tag team title match between the Outlaws and The Rock and Owen Hart. Do we get new champions?
No, but this is bullshit. Because Skull and 8-Ball was supposed to have a tag team title match.
We'll start a petition for Skull and 8-Ball.
How did these two jump the queue. I don't understand this.
I mean, the Rock's team with D'Lo last week. How are they suddenly the same number one contenders? Even knowing only teamed
it was a good
together
match.
once 2 weeks ago.
It was a good match, but then China distracts the ref, and then Farouk comes down and gives the Rock a power driver, which just doesn't make sense.
I like the Farouk cannot let this go though. Like he's still always there.
But the weird thing about this, it's not weird. The interesting thing about this is Owen goes full Tyson. He bites Road Dogg's ear, and then Road Dogg's bleeding from the ear, and then you just see Owen Hart come up with like blood all over his face, like a hyena or a lion that's gone for his kill.
Yeah, very weird. Farouk power drives the Rock, and the Road Dogg comes down and covers him for the win to retain the title. I mean, the best match of the night, but there's not been a great deal for it to compete with so far, has there?
No.
Really? Austin's still in the cop car, and the car's still there. What's the point of putting him in the car if you're not going to take him away like straight away? He's been there for about 25 minutes at this point.
I've never been arrested, Ross. I wouldn't know.
From the TV shows I've seen, you get taken away pretty quick.
No, from the TV shows I've seen, where they put you in the car and then they deliberate for like hours, like what seems like 20 minutes before they even do anything.
Well, I mean, that's what happens. They release Austin when they come back from the break. I think because he said he'd apologise to the security guards.
Who knew beating up someone and just saying sorry would prevent you from getting arrested, prevent you going to jail?
Yeah. Oh, God. Then we get an in-ring segment. The results of the DNA test is very Jeremy Kyle, this thing. Dr. Woosley is his name. I don't know, obviously not a real doctor. Paul Bearer and Kane come down. Paul calls his mum a damn 2-bit whore, which sets a fire on the Undertaker, who sprints down to the ring to beat the shit out of both. Yeah, weird. Vader makes a save, and Taker goes after Paul Bearer.
I can't believe this is leading to a mask versus mask match.
Yeah, like how has Vader got in this? Like this is still a Taker and Kane blood feud. Yet Vader suddenly appears and has a mask versus mask match in 2 weeks' time.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, Vader's done nothing for weeks. We haven't seen him for weeks now. We saw him last week for 2 minutes against Barry Windham. And that was literally it since WrestleMania. He's not appeared once, and here we go. He's now in this massive match with Kane. But it's a mask versus mask for a man who's you can see 90% of his face through his mask. It's not really a massive stipulation.
No.
Like if Vader loses his mask, who cares? Everyone's seen old Leon White's face before. Odd. Our main event of the evening, is Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on the Stooges in a street fight. I like the t-shirts they're both wearing now, especially Patterson's first IC champ t-shirt.
What, you're not going for the advertising one? Of
Fuck the Briscoe's Body Shop. Fuck it. Hope it's out of business. Bastards.
Slaughter's guest referee.
Yeah, great. Slaughter's still hanging around. I thought he'd disappeared after Sean left with DX, but no, he's still here. I don't know why he's still here.
This is all just nonsense.
Yeah, there's not a match, is it? It's just a 5-minute clusterfuck, basically. Sarge tries to Cobra Clutch him, but gets a stunner. Tries to Cobra Clutch Austin, but gets stunned. Dude Love comes out, gets stunned. A fan wearing an Austin mask joins the fray.
Yeah, and then it's Vince.
Yeah. It's just such a weird ending to Raw. We had a really good episode 2 weeks ago, and since then it's just been let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
And then what's interesting is you get this what is it? What did they call it? There was like an additional 2 minutes added onto this episode on the network. It's like Attitude Extra or whatever they called it. And it's like Vince hugging Patterson and Briscoe on the ramp.
God.
After they've demolished Steve Austin.
Well worth the extra 2 minutes you spent watching.
Yeah, waste of time.
Match of the night, Manny. Not a great deal to choose from.
I think there's only one you can choose from.
The tag
the
team
New Age
title
Outlaws.
match?
Yeah, the New Age Outlaws versus The Rock and Owen Hart.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go as well.
Which is weird because it's like a 4-minute match, and we're calling it match of the night. It's just very strange.
And there is outside interference, but there's always outside interference.
Yeah.
Just the rest of the stuff on the show was just so unappealing. I don't want to see LOD versus Chains and Skull and 8-Ball again, but I will do forever, it seems. Every week.
And we can't even call him Droz at this point next week. He's called
Is he not? Oh, goodness me.
That's your little preview for next week.
Yeah,
how fed up we're going to be. Oh my God, he's got to puke.
That's the end of this week's show. You can find us on YouTube at The Sharpshooters. Just search that and like and subscribe to all the videos we do. There's loads of stuff. Manny puts in a lot of work. Just 2 shows a week with Marcus. There's the Saturday show with the bigger Eric and Marcus and Manny. There's some new shows with Marcus and
Jamal, where they cover everything else. And then if there is nothing really going on, I've told them to do an episode of Why Should I Care About This?
Yeah, I like that.
As a person that will only watch the main things that are going on in American wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jamal, who we consider the encyclopedia that somehow manages to fit everything in.
Yeah, how does he do it?
Yeah. He's kind of the encyclopedia that could tell us why we should care about this, because at some point that person is going to appear on your TV, in your AEW show or your WWE show, and you're going to be like, who the hell is this? And if you pay attention to what Jamal said, there you go.
Yeah. We should get one episode of this one day as well. We'll put the feelers out, see if he's interested in that. There was also a live watch along with The Last Dragon, which I tuned into for a little bit. Where,
I didn't hate it as much as I thought it would.
Did you not? Every time I did take a few stills, and it, like you and Marcus had just like given up on life.
You catch us when you catch us in moments where we're in a downtime moment where nothing is happening. We were never going to succeed.
Oh, God. It's very funny though. So make sure you go back and watch that. All of the videos are on YouTube. There's hundreds of videos now. So go and watch some of the old stuff as well. There's some really good stuff on there. Manny puts in a lot of work, especially with the best ofs as well. There's a best of every month, and I'm just saying, like it's May now, so what's the best of April, Manny? Come on.
It's actually in production. Actually,
look at that.
If we're talking about because it's May 1st today, as we're recording this, I don't care anymore, Ross. I know. I don't think people care about when we record.
Damn it! He's broken the fourth wall. I've worn the same jumper for 3 weeks for a reason.
We broke it weeks ago.
Yeah, we back for God. There we go. This feels like the day kayfabe died. But anyway, let's we'll do some more plugs. Email us at thesharpshooters@gmail.com. You can email any of the shows. It will get read out, even if Eric wants to read it out or not. He didn't want to read out my email a few weeks ago, but Marcus and Manny made him.
Yeah, well,
that was pretty spot on.
Actually, now we have an entry point for what Alicia Fox and Melina.
Yeah. I emailed about the greatest wrestling match of all time.
What's your favorite match?
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
Thing is, I searched the network, and there's about 5 of them, so I don't know which one she was wereferring to. So we're gonna have to do a watch along of all 5.
The ultimate.
The ultimate. The
ultimate
best
series
wrestling match.
Best of 5.
The best of 5 series.
But yeah, I inadvertently emailed about quite a pivotal show. Actually, that was the Super Cena destroying the Nexus and
the return of Daniel Bryan.
The return of D-Bry. Yeah, apparently you can't choke a man with his own tie. Who knew? But yes, anyway, make sure you like and subscribe to all of our stuff. Get involved in the Midcard Mess on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Sharpies Network. You can follow me on Twitter. Why not? At Rossbell1984. No, it's not. It's Rossbell__. I changed it, and now I can't remember that I changed it when I do podcasts.
What?
I know. I changed it after I've had it for like 10 years of with the numbers at the end, and now I've changed it, and I keep forgetting I've changed it.
Mine's been the same since I was like 13.
Yeah, I've got to get rid of the numbers. Just 'cause it makes me feel old every time I see what year I was born in.
So.
But yeah, you can follow Manny. What's your address?
at Manny does.
There you go. Simple. Don't ever change it because you'll forget it. We will be back next week with some more Raw is War. We're on the road to Over the Edge, and we will not be reviewing it.
No,
we might mention it.
you might mention it, like just like how you forced me to review Unforgiven last month.
Yeah, we get Austin versus Dude Love, which I remember to be a fairly decent main event for both of you. That's about it. But yeah, we'll be back next time. Until then, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Manny.
Bye.